Welcome into the video, everyone. Thank you for joining me here today. A few different topics that we're going to go over, but first and foremost, I appreciate every single one of you for joining in, listening, and watching. I would really appreciate if any of you could hit the subscribe button. If not, no big deal. Hit the like button. Comment down below your predictions for the Lions, how far they can make in the playoffs, and let me know how you're feeling about this Lions team. So with that all being said, though, like I said, there's a few different topics that we're going to be going over, so let's go ahead and get into them. So first off, we will be taking a look just at a quick game recap versus the Vikings, and then we will go through 3 overall takeaways from that game. We'll look at some possible playoff routes for the Lions in the playoffs. We'll look at the injury report, and then we'll also look at the favorable matchup versus the Rams and a possible revenge game. So just quick going through Lions-Vikings game, the final regular season game. Obviously, a lot to take away. Aiden Hutchinson looked, his last 2 weeks have been, the best probably 2 week span of his career. Khalif Raymond had a really nice night. There's one of his punt returns right there. Also had a touchdown that, if he wouldn't have stepped out, would have been a touchdown. It was a nice play by him. CJ Gunnar-Johnson, the pick. Cam Sutton also had his first pick of the year. Love seeing that. Defense continues to get healthier, right? Only McNeil's back and making plays. Josh Pascal had a little bit of a breakout game. Jack Campbell had his breakout game, 10 tackles and a sack. Love to see it. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery did their thing. Jared Goff, to me, had a really nice game as well. If you were watching, you could tell he was stepping up, into the pocket, avoiding pressure, and he was making throws on the run, which he never does. That made me really happy to see. He was throwing across his body. It was fun to watch him do that. Got to see some Dan Skipper making catches, reporting as eligible. That was awesome. And defensively, honestly think that we looked a lot better in this game than we did the first matchup. Now, was it a lot better? Not really. We only gave up 4 less points. We still give up 200 yards to Justin Jefferson. We gave up almost 400 to Nick Mullins again, which I don't understand how we did that. But the first half was a really good first half. We looked good. Second half, kind of stopped playing for a bit, but our offense took care of business, and defensively we still made plays when we needed to. So it ended up really not being the end of the world, but it was nice to see. Really, everyone just kind of have a nice game. There was really no player that had a really bad game, so that was nice to see. And we avoided any major injuries, which we'll talk about later on as well. So what were my 3 overall takeaways from this game? Number 1, Jared Goff is getting better under pressure. You saw him stepping up in the pocket, making throws with pressure in his face, and making throws on the run too, which is nice. Number 2, the defense, they're back. They're better, they're healthier, and they're continuing to get better and healthier. It's a great thing to see going to the playoffs. Number 3, Aiden Hutchinson, he's back. He has finally started to get those sack numbers up. He's at 11.5 now, which makes me very happy to see. Finished the year with 5 sacks in his last 2 games. Possible playoff routes for the Detroit Lions. Looking at the playoff picture right here, if the Lions were to beat the Rams, they would more than likely play in Dallas in the divisional round. Now, if Green Bay was to take down Dallas, we would play the winner of Philadelphia and Tampa Bay, which I actually think the Bucs are going to upset. Which, could you imagine getting Tampa at home? That would be nice. So, Cowboys, obviously, the team we're more than likely going to play. And then, obviously, Bucs or Eagles, winner of that game. If the Cowboys were to lose, after that game, it's probably San Francisco 49ers. I don't see anyone beating them. And then if we were to make it to the Super Bowl as well, probably the Baltimore Ravens. And honestly, there's 4 teams in the AFC that are even Super Bowl contenders. Same with the NFC, I guess. But, still, we'll see, I guess. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Injury update, injury report, Sam Laporta. First and foremost, this is an article that I found online. Dan Campbell did not offer a specific diagnosis on Laporta's knee on Monday, but said the next 48 hours will be key to his availability for the weekend. Laporta's got an outside shot now, so we'll see. Dan Campbell said 48 hours, we're going to know a lot with him, but he's got an outside shot. And after watching that injury, I cannot believe that he could actually play this weekend. Both right and wide receiver Jameson Williams, who missed Sunday's game with a sprained ankle, are expected to practice Wednesday, Dan Campbell said, which is also big news. Need Brock Wright back, and Jameson Williams is going to be very important for our playoff run if we make one, which I hope we will. Matthew Stafford returning to Detroit for the first time since being traded. The matchup everyone wanted. He was never able to get the Lions a playoff win or even a home playoff game. This is going to be crazy. This is their last 3 games. Home against the Commanders, they won by 8. 4-13 team, Home against the Saints, won by 8. Saints are okay. They're 9-8, but they're pretty mid-team, mediocre. And then in New York against the Giants, they won by 1. Barely won that. And then obviously the 49ers getting the rest of their starters. Now, what's the game going to come down to? It's going to come down to a few things. whether or not we're going to be able to stop guys like Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, and Cooper Kupp. This Rams team is not a team to mess around with. They're definitely a top 10 team in the NFL. I'd probably put them right at 10. And they're a team that could easily, just like they did a couple years ago as a wild card team, make a run in the playoffs. Like, this is a team that I could easily see beating us and making it all the way to the NFC Championship game. You never know. So we'll see, I guess. But, man, it feels good. I think we'll win. I've got a lot of confidence in this team. We look good. And this is the best Lions team that we've ever seen in our life. So, Dan Campbell, take us to the victory land, and let's hope for a Lions Super Bowl. I appreciate you guys watching, though. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment. Go Lions. I'll talk to you guys later this week for a game preview. Peace. Have a good one.